Singleness is not a waiting room. There's a quiet struggle in many churches that people rarely talk about: the experience of being single. Not because single people are invisible, but because they are often assumed to be fine. As long as singles are still attending church, still serving, and still smiling, we assume everything is okay. But presence is not always proof of peace. And the truth is, there is probably no place where the pressure to be married is felt more strongly than in the church. Today, I want us to talk about something uncomfortable but necessary. Singleness is not a waiting room. Let's be honest. Most churches are structured around marriage, couples, and families. Sermons often speak to husbands and wives. Programs are designed for parents and children. Testimonies celebrates engagements, weddings like milestones of spiritual progress. None of this is wrong. Marriage is beautiful. Family is important. But something gets lost along the way. Because when everything is centered around marriage, singleness quietly becomes the stage before the real story begins. And over time, subtle message forms. You are not fully there yet. You are not complete yet. Your life has not fully started. Without saying it directly, we begin to treat a single person as someone who is incomplete, someone who is still missing the person who will make their life whole. But here's the contradiction. Singleness is often preached as a gift, but it is lived as a problem. We say singleness is valuable, yet we rarely talk about its beauty. We say singleness matters, yet we rarely build spaces where it is understood. We say singleness is a blessing, yet most conversations about it are about how to live it. So even when the church speaks positively about singleness, the lived experience tells a different story. And people notice the difference. One of the biggest problems is how singleness is framed. Singleness is treated like a season, but more than that, it's treated like a waiting room. And waiting rooms are not places where people build lives. They are places where people pass time until something else begins. That mindset is dangerous because it teaches people to postpone life, to delay becoming, to measure their worth against a future version of themselves that only exists in relation to someone else. Instead of asking, who am I becoming? People begin asking, will my real life start? What is missing? A vision of singleness that is not based on lack. A vision of a person who is whole without needing to be complete. A version of adulthood that is not defined only by marriage. Because the truth is simple, singleness is not a waiting room for marriage. It is a living space where purpose, clarity, identity are built. Some of the deepest growth in a person's life happens when they stand alone, when choices are made independently, when identity is formed without borrowing meaning from another person. But we rarely talk about it. The real problem is not that the church hates singleness. Most churches care deeply. The real issue is something deeper. Is it the inability to imagine a complete adult who is single by default and not by deficiency? Until that imagination changes, single people will continue to feel present but not fully understood, included but not deeply valued, seen but not fully recognized. So, what is then the conclusion? If you are single, your life is not on hold. You are not behind. You are not unfinished. You are not waiting for permission to become who you are meant to be. Your life is happening now, not later. Now, because singleness is not a waiting room, it is a living space.